And Morse, no, and Kathy Thompson, no. All right. Have you had a chance to look over those minutes?
Yes.
And may I have a motion to approve them? I've already seen them because I wrote them.
Right. Oh, one little thing, the scheduling the next meeting, you meant to say Wednesday, March 20th.
What did I say?
It's February 20th. So,
Oh, that's the
minor technical
All right.
change.
Schedule next meeting. Oh, that's the one, that's it. Okay, so 3/20/24. And after that is corrected, may I have a
Right.
motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting on February 21st, 2024.
All right, with that correction.
Correct.
In favor, I second, all in favor?
Aye.
I am also in favor. Correction. Right. Correction, okay. Thank you for that. Now, this is the Green Communities Grant Status Discussion.
So
We received more emails offering opportunities, some of which didn't really seem directly for our committee. You know, it's like for the waste, you know, how to reduce waste and that sort of thing. And just a whole bunch of opportunities came at the same time. And it wasn't the Green Communities Grant Program that sent it. It was another associated one for reducing carbon, but not green communities. And we'll get to that later, but that's going to have to come up in items not previously, you know, because I got a response this afternoon. I'll explain that later.
Oh, interesting.
But for the green communities part of this, I still don't have an updated quote for the actual green communities. I broke this up into two different categories. One is the green community status discussion, and next is the non-green community grant program, because the confusion, people put them together, and that caused us some problems. All right, so just the green communities grant status.
So that's the current projects that we got funded last fall you're talking about, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had asked Frank for an update on the quote, because if we finish the current work on time, I believe if we finish the current work, you know, by summer, we'll be able to go again in the fall. I sent Karen an email and I asked her like 3 questions. I think I copied you.
Yep.
And she answered the second question with a lot of details. I mean, it's basically her zip file record of all the documents regarding Townsend work.
Oh, I should open that.
Like a dozen of them.
I don't think I've looked at that.
And one Excel sheet.
Yeah.
So I haven't really opened those yet. That's like
me neither.
an hour looking through stuff. So she did respond to that, but she did not respond to the question: if we finish this work, you know, in a reasonable amount of time this spring or early summer, can we participate in the next round? Right? I wanted to have that answer, because I don't want to go expediting and pushing people to get stuff done if it's not going to get us anything.
I thought she said something about, well, September 1st, if things are finished by September 1st, that would be sufficient, or was that referring to something else?
It may have been referring to something else. I didn't see that part of it. I don't think she ever responded to that question or the last part.
This was an email like just like
A week
yesterday.
ago, 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago.
Oh, no, this is more recent. Like, just came. Did I save it in the, because I try to save things in the, let me see if I have a folder for all this committee stuff.
Kathy Thompson will be here shortly.
Oh, well, that's good. Oh, Karen, March 17th. Let's see. This is the one she said, see my answers
I'm trying
below.
to find it.
Okay, so you wanted to know, we must complete the current grant work before we can participate in another round. Trying to set a completion date goal for facilities so we can compete again in the fall. What should be our completion, done, paid, and inspected? What should the goal be?
That's the one. Did she answer
She
the first
said-
question?
She said beginning of September should be the completion goal if you want to apply in the fall.
Excellent. All right. I didn't see that, honestly. So I can put
And then
on
this,
here,
yeah, she had a bunch of responses. to all different-
response beginning of September. To finish for next round fall. That's good news. All right. I did want to check on the progress. Teresa was trying to do that, but she is not here, so
Okay,
we'll ask her separately. I think, I might send her an email in between and ask her, if there's any word on how they're doing. I tried to add, did Karen respond to that? Has she got any completion information?
none at all, she says. Had no info at all about the current grant, heard nothing.
I don't know why I didn't see that. I saw the middle one where the zip file, and I haven't actually pushed that button yet. I'm gonna figure out which computer I want to do that.
Yeah, I haven't opened that either, but I will, yeah, I'll save that.
All right, so, good. Next was the non-green communities grant program, and again, Teresa's not here, she's not gonna be able to tell us, but I don't know if you knew about the rest of this. After the last meeting, I had asked Frank Davies at Unitil if, if it was still possible to take advantage of that LED Unitil program.
Right.
And he was gonna have to check with Unitil
Right.
and reprice everything. Hello, Kathy.
Hey,
How you doing?
good, how are you?
Good. And I've read everything you sent me.
All right.
Well, we already approved
Hello.
the minutes, so that was the only thing we've had so far.
Door
this-
downstairs?
Did I?
Yes,
The back door?
yeah, it was unlocked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Just wanted
was.
to check, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, better be.
How you doing?
Fine.
You're getting around.
I'm getting around, yeah. Yeah, I'm still doing taxes.
Okay, yeah,
That's so much fun.
yeah.
Just so much.
Well, I discovered, that, the do-it-yourself tax program thing is cost me like $40 to do my own taxes,
Why?
Huh?
Why?
you mean the software?
Yeah, I've got the software, right, so I can just file them online and.
Yeah.
That's what I do, I just do it myself with software.
Yeah, well, that's all I'm doing.
After you do it the first time, it's not that bad. I mean, if
Right.
you're doing your
Sure.
own taxes, imagine doing somebody else's taxes, you gotta, boy, sorting
It
things
can
out.
get tricky, believe me.
Okay, well, we're
Some of
on,
these elderly people come in with,
the, item on the agenda at the bottom of the first page, non-green communities grant program, opportunity. Picking up from where we left off last time, it was gonna take a big outlay. Just starting from where we were last time, Frank couldn't quote right away because there was someone on vacation at Unitil. When he did finally quote, unfortunately, a lot of the incentive went away, but it was still a fairly good return on investment. It just wasn't the absolute on fire, you're crazy if you don't do it kind of thing. This is a incentive that we received from
Unitil.
Unitil for the public buildings, which are no longer covered as far as LEDs are concerned for the municipal buildings. They don't cover the municipal LEDs at all. You're on your own.
Oh,
for LEDs.
really?
Right, so, but they switched it to Unitil, and they had a very large incentive for us to do the police station, fire station, one of the fire stations.
library.
This
Three,
structure,
right?
there are four structures.
Yeah.
Senior
And it
center.
was
The senior
$180,000 worth of light bulbs. I mean, how do you come up with
Hard to believe.
Anyway, it wasn't just light bulbs, it is also the switches and the dimming and all that kind of thing. But we didn't take advantage of it. And I went off last year to have my surgery, right?
Yeah.
Well, 3 weeks after the surgery, I'm still at home trying to get around, and I'm not actually going very well. I had to go back to the doctor's office in July, but at the beginning of July, Rise sent to Townsend, attention Eric and Rob, carbon copy Ron,
Yeah.
a quotation, an offer for a highly incentivized LED, swap out.
Replacement, yeah.
And
Did it?
it was copied to me, and I was still drugged up, and I didn't do anything with it. I figured they'll get it it's
Well,
copied to
you
me.
were caught.
It was copied to me, so I figured they'd ask me if they had any, questions.
Exactly.
And they didn't. Well, come around to July, I started pushing Rise for a quotation because other than the items that we actually got, we haven't got any other items quoted. We don't know where we would go next
Yep.
time. And if you recall, they had lost the quote. They had lost all the data.
The
So they
guys
had to
took it
recreate
with them?
So recently, I created I went back and got the Excel sheets that we work from
Yep.
and identified those things that are done and the things that are that we still have, we had on the list.
Yeah.
There really wasn't anything left except the stuff that's not quoted. And including the LEDs for these buildings. So when I asked Rise, to update his quote, he says, well, you never actually acted on the one that we sent you before. I said, well, what do you mean? I looked at it and said, holy crap, we never responded to this. So he got us a new quote and a couple of weeks ago, and it is like a $30,000 less incentive, but still good return on investment. And there was one other structure that he didn't quote, the fire station next to Cherry Hill too.
Yeah.
And when they did finally quote that, it turned out to have a crappy return on investment. And I'm not really sure how much that is. I kept asking, how many people are in the building? I mean, how could you possibly justify spending, $20,000 on a building that rarely anybody there, unless you want to be able to dim the lights, and you can't now. I don't know. No one ever answered the question, but it turned out to have a crappy return on investment, like 15 years or something like that. But it's going to produce carbon one way or another, So I don't know what they're going to do with it. It was submitted to the finance committee or some group here that decides how to come up with and spend money. And I've never heard whether they actually worked on it or not. It's been probably weeks since I've heard anything. And Teresa would be able to answer, but she's not here.
Okay. Now, who's in charge of the fire department?
What's that?
Who's in charge of the fire department? They couldn't tell us.
What's that?
Who's in charge of the fire department?
Would be the chief.
Yeah. But he must report to somebody here.
I
would
don't
imagine.
know the
And-
reporting structure. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't know how strong a town manager is, regarding,
Oh, stuff like that.
dealing with people. And I don't know how much is the board versus the town manager and, you know, whether there's someone else in between. I have no idea. When we did make our submission of our goals
Yep.
to the planning board, they decided they would take the goals and split them up by, apparently they think they can decide, you know, who's interested in what. You know, you send some goals to the fire department, some goals to the fire chief, to the police chief, and I don't know. But that's how they do it. They wanted to send to the chief of the department. I don't know how they're gonna work it out. Anyway, we don't have any feedback. I can't tell you what's happening with that.
Now,
Anyway,
is Mass Save only for residential?
it's what?
Mass Save,
What?
Oh, the Mass Save program?
Yeah, is it what?
program.
Is it what?
Is it only residential?
Yeah. Mass Save probably has a commercial component. I never really, I'm not familiar with it enough to tell you.
Because that's who I'd get into that fire department.
Well,
You know, because they'll go in,
that
they'll
is-
replace
That
everything,
that is utility.
you
That's
know?
what Mass Save is, it's utility,
Right.
be all Unitil. So it is Unitil, but they don't call it Mass Save because I guess there'd be some confusion there if they called it Mass Save. There's something like Mass Save, whether they call it Mass Save or not, for commercial and for industrial. They
Yeah.
do get involved in all that.
Meaning what, that they go and do like an energy audit and suggest?
They do
Yes.
industrial and commercial properties.
I wonder
I think
why that
Mass
never
Save,
came up
Mass
as an
Save,
option.
very specifically by their rules, probably is not also residential, because they don't want to get those programs confused. I've never heard of it, but there's some program that does what Mass Save does for industrial and commercial
Yeah.
properties.
But you think it's Unitil and
Oh,
Life?
it's all Unitil, Unitil in the state. There are other grant programs that are not necessarily the Green Communities programs, and we'll talk about that in a little while, because that's gonna come up under topics not reasonably,
Yeah.
I just got a message.
Yeah,
All right, so we don't really have any, feedback on that. I gotta get back to Frank, we already went through this part of the,
okay,
I gotta get back to Frank and get him to quote. And now we have a goal, September, beginning of September. I probably put it at the end of July just to cover us.
Right, well, that's separate. In other words, what Frank is quoting isn't under the Green Community Grant Program?
Right, that's a Green Communities Grant Program. This is separate. I just went back, I'm sorry. The non-Green Communities Grant Program stuff, we just don't have any more information because Teresa's not here.
Oh, well, what was
What
Teresa?
did they decide to do? That's all there is really now, because we gave them everything,
Uh-huh.
including, we had thought, Frank had given us a quote for the fire station, adding to the other stuff.
Mhm.
Saying that he felt fairly confident that Unitil would do that. And I sent that off to Teresa. And,
Oh, I see
but I
now.
sent in the note, I told her that until the guy from Unitil approves this, it's not actually, written in stone. You may not get it.
Right.
And when he did show up, he didn't get it, and I just sent that information off to Teresa, and that's where we are. I don't know why it's frustrating that a lot of the time we send our, we communicate with people, we don't hear anything back. You're trying to get ready for a meeting and stuff, it's just not
Yeah.
working that well all the time.
This, the fire station thing, I mean, there's a couple of numbers in here with some question marks, but the savings are like, minuscule. But I don't know if these numbers are up to date. $329 would be the annual energy saved, energy cost
Yeah,
savings.
the return is like 15 years.
So it's presumably very small scale in any case, but, okay.
Some buildings, you wonder whether there's a justification for it, because they're working by, just formulas, right?
Yeah.
So there's an occupancy formula.
Hmm.
So they do insulation on the garage over here, and I don't really know, is there people staying in the garage all the time, waiting for the, ambulance to get called, or is that like an empty garage that people go to when they get a call or what, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Right.
they go from the fire department over there to get the,
They go back. Well, I don't know what the usage of that building is, but they spent, I think they put in, $4,000 or $6,000 worth of weather stripping on the doors.
So if they never have the heat on, it wouldn't, the savings would be really less than what's assumed.
Right, I'm
Right,
saying,
right.
I'm
I
saying the
see what you're
buildings are not necessarily,
Yeah,
they're using a formula to come up with
Right.
savings rather than
right.
customizing to a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was doing it, I would, look at that building and say, okay, so the occupancy isn't really,
Mhm.
the 60 hours a week that the program says it is. It's more like 20 hours a week. So that's the savings,
Yeah,
on the lighting, not necessarily the heat, because you gotta leave the heat on, right? But I don't know how, we don't have access to the details of their estimating, except I was able to go backwards and see what they were getting per hour for air sealing. Because air sealing is a very easy job
Mhm.
itself. Sometimes getting around stuff to do the job is a problem. You gotta curl your body up in weird positions and everything. But air sealing is, I think in my younger days when I could crawl around, I probably would have been better off air sealing. They pay they get like $80 an hour, but they pay the employees pretty well because it's not comfortable work.
Mhm.
All right. So where we come here is to the portion of the meeting where we put it off last time. I was trying to figure out, get a little idea of what we do to support the goals that we've drawn up. And so I thought what we could do is kind of go around, this is just a kind of a brainstorming session.
Mhm.
All I can do with this is when we look at it, we would consider it and try to see what we might imagine needing. If it implies that we need certain skills on the energy committee, if we needed to, have, skills and the number of people that it might take to do it. I wasn't able to come up with a lot that we haven't already thought of. I mean, we've had discussions before where we wanted to do, PowerPoints and stuff like that. But the one idea that I'll start. The one idea that I came up that kind of excites me. I don't know. I need to run it by you guys to see what you think. We've got these access to this Mass Energy Insight, and I was wondering if we could sort of publish or have a poster spot here in town hall, or maybe even in departments, if it becomes relevant to the department, where we show progress. Here's our, and you'd have a chart, basically, just a line chart.
Mhm.
Your basic line chart, where you would show the years and the emissions
Mhm.
for the whole town would be the one you use here. You'd publish one for the fire department and the whole town for them to put up at the fire department, and you do the same thing for the departments that are actually using fuel. And people go by it, they'd say, gee, we actually used more fuel this last month than we did the year before. Why? Why? And it's oriented towards emissions rather than the budget item, which is gallons or dollars.
Right.
But at least it puts in everybody's mind that we are thinking about this. We're supposed to be trying to reduce these things, and hopefully that would help engage more people. You know what I mean? It's a way of disseminating the fact that there is an energy committee and we're trying to reduce emissions.
Yeah.
And you could even put at the bottom of it, we need more volunteers. But that was a way to kind of get exposed. Now I haven't actually tried to draw one up yet, except for this little model. But.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah,
With
I do too.
Excel, you could put that kind of thing out and.
Yeah, I could
and
probably
once you've
help
got
with
a
that.
format
You know,
for
good
it,
at
it's a matter of
displaying
just
data.
dumping the numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a little bit complicated because I would probably want to do one for the schools too, because we want to put that onto the town, but that was just one of my ideas. The others, most of my other ideas, you've heard before. We've talked about them before. The PowerPoint to educate people about energy. You know, I was thinking building science before, but I think I'm getting beyond that now. That, you know, there are people who'd be interested in building science. You know, the do-it-yourself stuff. But I think as a committee, we're kind of getting beyond that, where we need to head right towards the emissions, and then you'd back into that if people ask into the details of how you do this. If people ask, but I think people are more likely at this point to be asking questions about, is solar any good? Do I actually save money? You know, I had to come to my house and, you know, they start off, you know, you absolutely no out of pocket. Okay, great. So it gets through the whole process and they say, okay, here it is. You know, you just sign this loan for $43,000 and we'll put panels on your house. And say, what? That's more than I owe in the house.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard
and
sell.
they didn't really communicate well to me. I mean,
they do that purposely.
well, the panels, you gotta
You
have
gotta
time.
pay for the panels,
You gotta ask
but
questions.
installation is free.
The question becomes, you know, these panels will produce all the electricity you use and then some. Okay, well, where's all that money going? Where's all that money going?
Well, yeah, it sounds
Show
like
me.
they were selling you a lease as opposed to you buying. I
Yeah.
mean, I just did it last year, so I'm pretty familiar with it, but I bought the panel. So, you know, yes, there is out-of-pocket money. Absolutely. It cost a lot of money, but it was worth it to me, you know, and it's going to be a good investment. And there's a big tax incentive now, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act. But yeah, other people, I know there are other deals where if you don't have the money to lay out, you can do a lease thing. And those are, my perception is those are not a good deal, but maybe they could be, I don't know.
I had this, as you guys probably know by now, I'm a detailed guy. I go further than I probably should with detail, but that's me. I get to the point where, you know, we use 4,100 kilowatt hours a year, and the thing will produce 7,000. Okay, so what's happening to the other 3,000 there? Is that like paying me or you, or where's it going?
Well, why would you need to have something that produces more than you need? That doesn't make sense. You don't get, it's not like they're gonna pay you.
You sell it back to the utility, potentially. I mean, that's what I would expect they're gonna calculate.
They're not gonna pay you
Not with a
money.
lease.
It eliminates my, doesn't the utility have to pay me for the electricity that I produce?
Not directly. Basically, at least
They give me credits.
the way it works is, at least, I don't know, maybe it's different with a lease. With a lease, I think it's more,
This wasn't
you're
a
gonna
lease.
pay.
This wasn't a lease. I was gonna pay $43,000.
Oh, they just wanted to lend you to finance it, but
Finance.
you were gonna buy the panel.
$43,000 in financing.
Because how many panels are we talking about?
I gotta look it up.
Because, okay, I got 15,
24.
I got
28.
15 panels, which was enough to produce all the electricity we need, which is about 5,000 kilowatt hours a year. Roughly 400 a month on average is what I do in my house.
See, our conversation is educational for me. You have actual experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there are people who don't have any experience, who are being sold a bill of goods. They don't know, should I just talk to one solar company who has good references, or should I talk to three and compare the prices? What's the deal?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah,
have
talk to
questions,
several. Yeah.
you know, and I don't know, I don't have the answers.
Yeah, no, I went through, I mean, maybe we're going off topic, but no, I went
No, really,
through, I learned a lot about
We're
solar.
looking at ways people learn, just a conversation. I mean, you could have, put people in a bunch of room. Are you interested in solar? Okay, we're having a meeting where there's 6 people who have put solar in their houses and have, 5 years worth of experience. Come on down and have a conversation with us,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that, because then you're not actually talking to someone who's trying to sell you something. You're trying to talk to someone who's
Right.
got experience. That's different.
Yeah,
So that's not off topic.
okay, yeah.
That's right in there.
I mean, I was gonna say, in terms of brainstorming, I'd love to, as a committee, encourage the adoption of solar or any other, green technology. I think we've kind of touched on this many times over the last several years. I mean, it's not really part of the Green Communities program, but on the other hand, it's an important thing. It's certainly being adopted just from looking around a town like Townsend. It's
Mhm.
pretty popular. I don't know what
Mhm.
percentage
I
at
think
this point it's
I
been
think we're going to
adopted.
be getting outside the Green Communities program. A Green Communities program will continue to be a big deal.
Right, but it's
But
not,
I
it's not
think
the only thing we do.
You know,
right?
that return on investment and the amount of carbon you can reduce is going to come down over time.
Yeah.
And my point when I was talking to the people who developed the software, including the annual report,
Mhm.
was that, you want to build people's enthusiasm to this program while they're saving money every time they do something.
Mm.
Mhm.
Because there's going to come a time when it's going to cost them money every time they do something. You'll save money, but you also cost money. Think of the situation that this building, I've never seen them, but has 6 boilers, gas boilers, and they come on in sequence to demand. I don't know how much more efficient you can get.
Hmm.
And so the program would have you throw away those boilers and replace it with heat pumps, which probably involves some other kind of distribution,
Mhm.
What do they use here anyways? This ducted or what do they, how do we heat this building in terms of
Well,
distribution? I don't see any
Those are the-
radiators or anything. Well,
Those
there's
are
that
the-
thing.
Those are the vents.
That is,
That's
apparently heat
what-
and cooling. It goes right outside.
Oh, is it?
So that's already a heat pump in this room.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I have to confess, I don't get heat pumps. I have to read up on it. I don't know how they work.
Think air conditioner and reverse it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got that. I've been talking for a few minutes. Anybody else come up with ideas that I can add to the list?
Well, I don't come with any well-formulated ideas, but yeah, as far as, what about solar in terms of opportunities for either for the town? I mean, I know there've been projects that have been looked at, and for one reason or another wasn't
I think
adopted,
the land,
the roofs of the buildings and
Mm.
all that kind of stuff.
well, obviously we're short-handed here, and I get to that on your saying that because we used to have Karen Chapman here,
Yeah.
who worked for the town, land use, which sounds to me like a great place to start for solar.
Mhm.
You want to plant it right there because where are we going to put them if we have put solar panels in here in Townsend? And reading the mission of the land use is to try to maintain the character of the town. Well, character of the town is going to change a little bit when you put a bunch of panels everywhere. And you got to be careful how you develop it so you don't too badly influence it. But it's different.
And there are,
Places there are woods are gonna turn into panels. I mean, I'd rather have woods, but
Yeah, I don't, actually, I
Yeah, I
think
don't-
that's being discouraged by state policy, which it should be.
Yeah.
with that,
In other words, just, chopping down trees to make room for solar panels is not what we want to do in most cases, I would say. And I think this, back last year when I went to that discussion with, I forget exactly what the context was. It was a sort of conference or a meeting to discuss the siting of solar all over Massachusetts. and it was, I think a report had come out, and one of the things I remember is that they're not encouraging, just putting solar panels in what used to be forests. That is absolutely not what we want to do.
Okay, I'd like to see
Well,
that.
even the
See,
bylaws
if you
here,
could find that, would you send me a link? to
Yes,
that information?
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I
I'm
know
sure I
some
can find
things
it.
are hard to find sometimes after
Yeah.
you've been there, but
Yeah.
if you remember a couple of keywords, maybe. you could-
Yeah.
because the bylaws, I was on a solar bylaw committee. And the bylaws were that you, like you say, you wouldn't be cutting down things to do a solar farm or whatever. It would be in an open area, but it would also be, it would be surrounded by, you'd have to put up vegetation so that it can't be seen by anyone.
Some of these rules and regulations might be modified. I mean, like
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
today, for example, I guess within the last few days, the government has reduced the requirement on the auto companies for producing, for their schedule for producing more electric cars and less gas cars, and it had interest related to the interest rates and the slowness of people developing, desire to have EVs and not enough chargers yet and that sort of thing. But that's like a rule that they modified to adjust for the realities. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future regarding siting of these things. The big, we'll get to it next. The thing that the Green Communities program has been bringing up, and there's a climate change grant program in Massachusetts that they're emphasizing. They're trying to get us to, I lost my track. They're trying to get us to develop. Well, we'll get to it in a few minutes, because we're going to look at that. It's some stuff that I received in the as email today. I think I forwarded that.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes,
That just came in today.
this one,
Right,
this one here.
right. All right, are we ready to go away from this topic about the discussion of specific of things that we can do? For now, we'll put that aside, but I think that we got a couple of good ideas there. Topics not, okay, so
Was that?
where is that? That one.
At the end.
It's like some phone is making a call or something.
Somebody's
That
up
me?
there.
Oh,
My phone's over here.
My phone's over here, so
that's not doing anything.
it's not doing anything.
Make sure it's not mine.
Yeah.
Nope. I just have a reminder that there's an energy committee meeting today at 7.
So what are you looking for? The topic?
Right, well, let me just use your copies. I thought I had it running.
Uh-huh.
I actually emailed this to myself, so it should be. Why did I talk here?
Yeah, because I mean, you just did it before the meeting, pretty much.
I got it at Zoom. Email, okay.
Yeah, I should have this thing from Karen with the attachments. Let's see if I can zip that file.
Wow, okay, so there, my inbox. And because I've received a ton of emails since I got that. There it is.
You got it? It's like at 5.
All right, some time ago, probably 3 weeks ago, I got an email that was from the Climate Pollution Reduction. I don't know what the PC stands for. PC. It's the Central Massachusetts. This came from the Central Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission.
Huh.
So it is. It's going to be Regional Planning Commission, but it's not
Not the.
green community. So it was a note that had opportunities that for things that they were considering doing. And you were supposed to indicate along the list, either you were interested and you'd like to do it, or you'd like to learn more about it. There were some things there that had to do with climate change and directly affecting our work. And to those, I said, yes, I'm interested in participating. For the ones that didn't have anything to do with energy or a lot less to do with energy or looked like they would primarily be handled like somebody else,
Yeah.
I said, I'd like to learn more about it. So it was, none of them were, not applying. And one of them, I should share this. How do I share this?
Is your,
I just opened an email is what I did. And I opened the email, but you can't see it there. I don't know why.
Okay, if you want to share anything, you have to join the meeting with your computer. So if you can do that, I can let you in and you can speak.
I am on the,
are you on Zoom?
oh, I see.
You got to be on Zoom.
This is not in Zoom, so I don't know how I do that. How do I get over this?
Oh, if you go to, one way to do it is to go to the Townsend website, Townsend, what is it?
Well,
Townsend.
did I somehow or other leave Zoom?
I don't know. If you're on, then you just
It is
have to
now.
share.
Okay. And
Well, that's you there. So that, I think you are right. You are.
well,
Yeah.
no, that's me from this thing. It's
Yeah,
not me.
it says you are viewing Ron's screen. So Ron, you're still screen sharing. So
Oh, he is screen share. So, his screen isn't showing though. We could just look at it. It's only three.
Yeah, we can
Well,
look at
yeah,
it.
okay, why don't we do that? Maybe this is screen share. New share, new share.
Yeah,
Where's the Zoom? Is this
There
the
it
Zoom
is.
window?
That's the one that I want to share. It's not coming up.
There it is. There
All
it is.
right, well, it's too small for us to read now.
Not
All
bad.
right, so now we're looking for a Zoom.
You zoom in terms of size. Oh, and you probably want to minimize that
There's stuff on the
that
left.
stuff on the right that is, all the pictures. That's blocking the text.
Yeah, like this.
So you want to pull this stuff down.
Yeah, there's 3 bars when you go up.
Where I want to go? Here?
See these? I think
Here?
that'll, yeah. Does that give you a menu as to what you can do? No. Was there something else?
All right, I'll just tell you what it is. This first one. Here they are, they asked, I'll read it. Mr. Montgomery, thank you for responding to our survey on which climate pollution reduction implementation grant projects your municipality would like to be involved in with our application due April 1st.
Oh, that's kind of soon.
Yeah.
Damn soon. They just sent me there on the 20th.
Yeah.
Below the project that your municipality have expressed an interest in participating. That's me. I checked the box.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Regional, they're thinking, what I was trying to say before that I couldn't come up with the right words. They want us to do solar, consider doing solar on a regional basis. You don't necessarily have to come up with the open space in Townsend
Yeah.
if they have it in Ashby,
Mhm.
and you just coordinate and cooperate as a region to generate your
do-
electricity.
Yeah,
What I don't like about that is the transmission, because you still gotta get transmission over here somehow. And Unitil won't necessarily let you use their lines, except that could change, I suppose. All right, lower the projects that your municipality has expressed interest in participating in or requested further information. Regional waste entity. This one, they seek to create a Worcester West Organic Waste Diversion Program as part of their implementation grant application. This particular program would be structured in an intermunicipal coalition where towns can voluntarily opt in to participate. If awarded, the grant money would fund the following types of services for this program: assistance in developing local and regional composting pilot programs, developing the necessary infrastructure, composters, aerobic digesters to support organic waste diversion and reduction across the region. Education and public workshops, since they can help us with this, to include information about using newly available composting resources and waste reduction best practices, professional consulting services for municipalities, education about potential local public-private partnerships to move organics from areas of excess to areas in need, joint procurement contract management. Why opt in? The benefits of opting into this Worcester West Organic Waste Diversion Program would be plentiful, including cost benefits, reduced disposal costs. Municipal staff time available would increase. Soil benefits, boosting local food production and workforce development. Landfill disposal, capacity benefits. Reduced air pollution when managed efficiently, which results endless environmental protection benefits and healthcare costs. The next one is an aerobic digester project. This is one I would have suggested that I'm interested in. But I don't, and I'd like to learn more about it. I don't know who would do this. They seek to assist our municipalities in creating new aerobic digester infrastructure. Why participate? Reduced disposal costs, opportunity to reuse heat and electricity generated from the aerobic digestion process, soil benefits, improved opportunity for farm nutrient recycling, landfill disposal capacity benefits, and yards net zero greenhouse gas emissions. Please commit to this project only if you know of aerobic digester project. If you know of an aerobic that is looking for to be implemented in your community. I don't know. Who would know?
yeah.
Residential weatherization assistance. Okay, this one would be us.
Mhm.
If awarded, grant would refund dedicated staff support to create a comprehensive and interactive tool for Connecticut and Massachusetts residents to use in weatherization assistance funding for residential buildings. Both those that rent and those that own property would benefit. This staff support would extend beyond creating a tool and would provide the one-on-one support for applicants from the program's application through the installation of any rebate procedures. In doing so, staff will ensure more households take advantage of existing state and federal. That's what we're trying to do, is get people to take more advantage.
Yeah.
Why participate? Increasing energy efficiency among residential buildings, decreased utility costs for residents, particularly low-income residents and renters, decreased energy use for residential properties, and extends the life of homes and reduces. I don't know if we get any credit for the reduction in carbon emissions from homes, but
Yeah.
that's what our goals are.
That's, I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's-
seems worthwhile.
Our
Yeah.
goals, right.
Obviously, we have to learn more about this and we're not gonna deal with it before April 1st, but, you know, the question is how often does this come up? When's the next time, you know, and maybe we can learn more about it in the meantime.
Shrub tree planting and maintenance program, you know, that's not really me, that's Public Works, right?
Yeah, tree
Right.
wardens and.
Why opt in? And then the municipal solar project
Mhm.
seeks to assist municipalities of new solar infrastructure as part of implementing grant application. If awarded, grant money would fund following types of solar installation.
Oh,
Solar canopy over municipal parking lots.
was there somebody looking into doing that?
I think they've already signed up to do some, but I don't know
Yeah.
what program is sponsoring that.
Oh,
This may be an alternative program, or it could be the same program. I
yeah.
don't know. Who would look at it? It's, no one's I don't know what's going on. There's no grant administrator, so nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah,
Would, I don't know, would Eric know? Or Slade?
Oh, well, yeah, there was another one, but, well, I'll get to that later. If awarded, grant money would fund equipment, panels, installation, planning, permit, you know, there's a lot done there. Why participate, reduce electricity costs and so forth and so on. If committing to this project, please indicate if your town is interested in parking lot canopies, rooftop solar, or solar over a brownfield capped landfill.
Right. Now, at some point in the distant past, that was looked into for our landfill, but it's just like, there's no infrastructure to transmit the electricity, I think was the issue. That the wire,
Transmission.
right, the wires that are in that part of town are not enough or not the type
You'd
that's
have
needed.
to,
yeah,
you know, you could probably get the solar panels for free, but then, you know, $3 million to run the electricity of the town, you know,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know,
could be,
that's just
it wasn't,
well,
favorable.
you know, even if you do the regional solar production thing and you share, you know, resources with towns, you gotta prove, it's either gonna go over the Unitil lines, you know, the utility lines, or you create your own. You have to build your own. I have not heard of a utility sharing their lines with people who are competing with it. You know, they're in the business of transmitting and electricity, really, not making it necessarily, but at least transmitting it. And they don't want to give the transmission stuff. You have to pay for it.
Right.
And then what's the benefit? I mean, you say you're changing from their electric, you I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so that municipal weatherization is another one. We know what that's like, but this is like,
Oh, so I mean, this is an
Wow.
alternative grant program that is a little different than Green
well, they
Community.
might have different rules, you know? They might say, okay, we'll do the public buildings with LEDs. I don't know, if
Yeah.
the more exposure you have to this stuff.
Well, they do solar, and that's definitely not included in Green Community, right?
Yeah,
Tree shrub planting and maintenance program. Again, Public Works probably.
well,
Why opt in? Environmental, economic, and social benefits. Why participate? Municipal weatherization seeks to assist the municipality installation of municipal weatherization services as part of a community grant application. I don't really know what the difference is between this and the other program right at this point. If awarded, the grant would fund weatherization work in municipal and school buildings. Or to use design, install, maintain weatherization equipment. That's capital costs, weather first, why? That's something we're already doing. HVAC improvements, that would definitely be, you know, something that we'd be looking at.
mm,
Battery storage project, that covers another, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The benefits of additional battery storage infrastructure in town are plentiful, including energy independence.
Is
Please
that one
review
of
the
our
above list and
energy
consider-
goals? Increased independence.
Now, what they're looking for before April 1st was for us to sign the letter of
Interest?
Fill out the letter of support is what they're asking for. It's a non-binding letter of support. We will need signed letters on municipal letterhead emailed no later than March 25th. Oh, that's even sooner. We'll need a final list of towns participating in each project so we can run numbers and finalize emissions reductions impact of each project, and so forth. Please reach out to myself if you have questions. Okay, so
So where did
we
this
want
come?
to, I think at this meeting, what we'd like to do is have you authorize Townsend, authorize me to request, or maybe I can even just sign a letter of report. There's a letter of support template here, which I don't know if it'll allow me to list several projects or whether you do your project on each, on an individual one. But if we could look at these and just see which ones you would like me to send the interest of support, the letter of support for the Energy Committee, we could do that. For the other ones, I would just send those to Teresa and tell her which ones we have signed up for, and she should send the other ones to whoever they think. I don't know who gets this. Who you send? I guess you'd send it to Teresa and to Eric, let them sort it out, right? For the other one.
Right, but I mean, I don't know, do we have the authorization to say Townsend's interested in pursuing? I understand it's not
Well,
binding.
it's non-binding,
Yeah.
and we do have their authorization. I would assume that we've done it before. I don't know if someone specifically authorized us to, but
And then what, so then what? But what do we have to do by April 1st?
Just
I mean, the letter.
identify what,
I
Just say we're interested?
Well, I think what they were looking for is the, because the application due date is April 1st, we'll need signed letters on letterhead by March 25th. And I guess they're gonna create from that, they're gonna create
And who-
applications. They create
Yeah.
applications
Oh,
for
So
April 1st.
this organization.
The letter is
gonna
due
do
by
the
March
apply-
25th.
Who's applying? So they're applying, but they just want to know like which towns in the region want to participate.
I can't understand why they would just put like, what's it, 5 or 6 days between the letter and the application due date?
Yeah.
That's kind of
A week.
pushing it. All right, so can we decide now which ones of these we wish to support? And I can send that let's just click this thing and see what happens.
Oh, so it's
You gotta
this.
put her on the town letterhead.
Oh, and just you check off which
Yeah.
projects you're participating.
Yep, okay, so which one are we interested in?
I'm going through, so,
Residential Weatherization Systems Program?
that certainly seems to be within
Yeah.
our purview and is worthwhile, right?
The residential one?
The municipal solar on suitable sites in the community.
Installation of municipal solar. There's only one dedicated to solar, so I'm trying to do it. Weatherization of buildings.
Well, sure.
And school buildings.
I mean, I'm a little fuzzy on what exactly where this is going, but I guess it doesn't do any harm. We're not committing to anything.
yeah,
What I believe this is for is they are trying to develop whether there is adequate interest in each of these programs.
yeah,
And when they have interest, they're going to measure the savings in emissions that might result out of that group of towns doing it, and then they decide whether or not they want to do it.
Yeah,
I think these are programs that they plan to offer. Is there adequate interest? That's really what they're
okay, so
determining
and we're
now.
not gonna be filling out any sort of
And we're
grant
not-
application.
Actually applying for or using the program, I would think that an application would show more about what, it's actually doing. But I think we've had a pretty good description already. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them so far, okay?
I mean, I guess any
And the
of them
battery
that
systems.
are related to energy, right? So weatherization assistance,
I've
Is that
got,
one of the ones?
I've got the
I mean, obviously that's
the
been,
third one, residential weatherization assistance.
oh, residential, and then there's another one for
Then
municipal and school
the-
buildings, weatherization.
Fifth one, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The solar, yeah, I would say,
The fifth one, solar.
yeah.
This one, I
Uh,
got my, I'll highlight it. This is one we want to do, right? That one.
yeah,
And the next one as well.
yeah,
And the one after that, and the one after that. So these
probably just
Four.
all of them, I mean, I guess,
plus the residential assistance one. And the composting one,
it's kind of out of our,
yeah, I just notified them that we did not apply. We did not, send a letter on that.
Mhm.
anaerobic digesters, I guess,
Unless
we don't know of
Yeah.
any.
I don't know where to send that. So
Discussion.
we're not gonna be looking at that. And then, so it's these, all these except for the tree and shrub one. Tree and shrub one is not ours. So okay, so may I have a motion that we support, that we send the non-binding letter of support for those
really 4 or
five, how
5.
many programs were there? Municipal,
So this is about 6 of them.
HVAC, battery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programs, right? Is that 5? No. Yes.
I think so,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
5 programs. That will be the, okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna do the motion myself. Okay?
Okay,
All right,
All right, so I move that the Townsend Energy Committee return the letter of support for the residential weatherization assistance program, the installation of municipal solar on suitable sites within the community, weatherization assistance in municipal and school buildings, HVAC upgrade assistance in municipal and school buildings, and installation of battery storage systems in public buildings and public solar facilities. In the motion, I further recognize that the following items on the list will be sent to our liaison and the town administrator for consideration for action by other committees. The regional composting waste reduction effort, the installation of aerobic digesters in the community, and the tree, shrub planting and maintenance program. May I hear a second of the motion?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Mike,
Yes, Michael Brown?
yes,
Kathy?
aye, yeah, yes.
That carries. I will do that and copy you guys. I guess,
Yeah.
I actually have to have the town do it, but we'll, on the letterhead, but we'll. Town letterhead, supported way administrated. Okay? All right. That was topics not reasonably expected. because we just got that.
That could be an interesting program.
Yeah.
We
There's
don't
one
even know
other-
where's the money come from for these grants.
Pardon
Who's funding this program? Do we know? Is this a state?
That sounds like a state-funded program to me. There's, they don't tell us where the money's coming from, but they just recently got a big slug of funding from the feds regarding, stuff.
Oh, maybe it came from like the Inflation Reduction Act and stuff.
One of those. I forget what it-
Yeah, well, I mean, that is something that if it's being divided, it's divided up among the states and then within the state, yeah, if we could get some of that, that would be great.
There's one other thing that I wanted to bring up under topics, reasonably. We used to have, and I think we have already brought it up, the land use coordinator, Jessica Consalvo now, the land use coordinator was Karen Chapman, and she was very helpful to close the gap, the communication between us and the town, keep things going.
Yep.
And you might say that not having a person like that cost us $37,000 because we missed the boat on the big incentive.
Mhm.
That's a cost of not having someone. And I was hoping to say that line in front of Teresa, but we'll put it in a minute. Also, I think we need to engage someone at town hall to help us fill the committee again. I mean, I need at least two people, and if we are actually participating in all these different programs, like we could have subcommittees, for two people to go here, two people to go there at the same time. I don't know, but it looks like that kind of activity could increase, and we need to have proper manning because the three of us can't really handle it.
Mhm.
My wife proposed the name of a person who she met this guy's wife at the store. And does anyone know Lance McNally? Lance McNally. He used to be active in town
Sounds
committees.
vaguely familiar, but.
We'll run that by Teresa too and see if she knows it. But he was suggested by his wife as a potential member of the committee. And I'm not sure how to approach it, but I want to see if either of you knew him and Teresa. And I just called. They gave me a phone number. And see if there's any interest. But other than that, we need to turn up the heat getting more people, because you guys have been here longer than I have, but there's going to be some turnover and burnout even among us. We're all fairly enthused.
Yeah, because I'm at the stage where, I'd like to do other things.
Yeah, so and I appreciate you guys supporting this, while we're going through this phase, but we've got to rebuild the committee to a point where someone else wants to be chair and can be, because they know, what we're doing and how to, and I think it will take at least a year for someone to be on the committee to be here. We know that,
Mhm.
they're gonna show up and have an interest and, be able to carry this on. So, I don't know if the town has someone, when the town hires people, what do they do? Is there someone here who is responsible for publishing ads and stuff?
There has to be.
It'd be a personnel person, right? I don't know why the personnel person shouldn't be involved in getting volunteers,
Yeah. Yeah, but if you look at the board, just about every committee is looking for volunteers.
Yeah,
So-
it's a chronic thing.
Yeah,
Getting enough volunteers.
yeah.
Well, suppose we have a I'll just brainstorming again. Suppose we have meeting, a sort of place where it's announced and advertised that we're gonna have a gathering of people, to find people who would like to volunteer. And, I would go, and, other representatives for the other boards and committees that are looking for people would go.
Hmm.
And you'd be able to say, hey, you help, I'd be able to promote us, we're helping town save money and the environment, all that. And then we've all got reasons, each committee has reasons to, has a role to play, and benefits for the town and for the people who volunteer. So, even resume building, if you want to work in in the energy field, being a volunteer in this committee is not a bad idea, So that kind of thing, I think we need to really involve the town more. And I'm not sure, how did all you guys come about? I mean, I came about sort of on my own. No one told me you needed to volunteer. I just figured it out. I was looking at a real estate bill that was up, $800 or something. I said, holy shit, I just, I just lost my job and I'm paying these bills. And I said, well, okay, it must be something that I can do, to help. And I discovered there was an energy committee, and I discovered there was an opening energy committee, and we're there. So how did you guys end up?
I was contacted by Terry, Terry Morse. She was on the energy committee back in 2013.
How did she know about you?
We know each other. Our kids were friendly in school, and we're kind of, I would say close friends, but we're friends. We've been friends. Yeah.
Outside of this, how about you, Kat?
I came in kind of like you. I came in to volunteer for a committee, and basically they said, well, the best one was the energy committee, or the friendliest was the energy committee. I said, okay, that's the way I want.
Okay, well, I'm glad it worked.
So, I mean,
We might have to get a little more creative. I'm
Yeah.
saying, we have to get more creative, because nothing's happened. It's been a couple of years now, so, and of course, we lost that in this fall, which was.
yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your time today, and we got nobody's here. We're gonna schedule the next meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah, April might be a bit of an issue.
Pardon me?
Next month, I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, and then the week after that, got some medical things coming up, colonoscopy, and
Oh, those fun things.
yeah, I'm doing it a year early.
Yeah, I think I got a notice saying.
Well, okay, so I'll work on trying to have something for us to work with from Frank by then, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So want to do an early May reading?
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
good.
fine. Because that last
Can we
week,
go May 8th?
Sounds good to me.
yeah, I think town meeting, annual town meeting is the 7th, the day before that. So, yeah, that'll be a big week for town.
Well, if you want to go to the town meeting, let's make it another day, because you don't want to have 2 days in a row in town.
I mean, it's not too major.
I'm likely to go to the town meeting this time too.
Well, I'm definitely going because I'm also on the bylaw review committee, and we have some bylaws, including my big interest, outdoor lighting. We have an updated outdoor lighting.
Okay, if you don't mind the 8th, we'll go, we want to stay early in the month, and I just,
Right.
we could go the 1st, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's the first day of Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Did the first work for you?
May 1st?
Yeah. Is that
I think
far
so.
enough away from your other stuff?
Yeah, no, that's, we'll just double checking. That should be fine. Yeah, I don't have anything on May 1st. Yeah, all this stuff, I'll be back from my trip. The medical
Well, I'm
stuff will be
thinking
done.
that
May 1st.
not
is
likely
okay.
to be our last meeting, but if we end up with more activities then we'll have room for 2 meetings after that. If we don't really have a lot of activity going on, we could.
Yeah.
Just have 1 meeting after that. The
Yes,
first
so
one?
May 1st, 7 o'clock?
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that should be fine.
may I have a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Yes, Michael Brown.